Compression Division Director. So wanted to take a couple of minutes. We get a lot of calls regarding compressor vibration. Reciprocating compressors obviously generate some level of vibration on their own. Vertical reciprocating compressors, depending on a number of different factors, the overall size, the load, the speed that they're operated at, can all impact how much vibration that you're going to see. One of the most critical areas that can either improve the level of vibration, reducing it of course, or have a negative impact and allow for a significant amount of vibration in compressor operation is going to be the foundation that's used. So what we want to talk about a little bit is how the foundation impacts that and what you can do to improve the performance of the system that you currently have installed. So a couple of things to consider. Certainly the speed of the compressor, as we said, the load that's on the compressor, so the pressure is the gas that's being compressed, and then the overall size of the compressor. The smaller Blackmer compressors, the 100, 300 series, are not going to have as much vibration as, say, a 600 or a 900 series compressor. And also a compressor that, say, maybe is a single packing machine that's used in LPG versus a machine that's a triple packed, that's going to be a much taller compressor, and so a minimal amount of vibration is going to translate to more vibration seen in the piping than you would notice in, say, a shorter compressor with a lower center of gravity. So all that said, what do you need to do to minimize the vibration that you're going to see in an installed compressor? Well, the first one is have enough mass under that compressor to absorb that vibration. A few different ways to do that. Many of the compressors are shipped and installed with a formed steel base plate. With that particular base plate, you want to ensure that you have adequate number of anchors, and then you want to grout underneath that and have it attached to a firm either steel or concrete foundation to ensure that any small amount of vibration that the compressor would generate can be transmitted down through that base. If it's a structural steel skid, there's a couple of different options that you have. One of the options that S&S uses to ensure minimal vibration in their systems is we actually employ concrete inside of our skid. So when we design the skid and fabricate it for the particular application, we're going to flip that skid over, we're going to fill it up with concrete under the base. That will ensure that there's enough mass. In addition, using an adequate thickness of steel plate directly under the compressor is immensely helpful as well. That gives, again, a solid foundation for the compressor to be mounted to, and then the amount of mass under the compressor can potentially then exceed the amount of mass of the compressor, which is going to translate to much lower vibration. Another way to minimize vibration within the piping with a reciprocating compressor is flexible lines on the suction and discharge side of the compressor. Now, many sites don't allow for the use of, say, a wire-braided stainless steel flex, but those that do, this can be a great way to mitigate any types of vibration issues, specifically harmonic vibrations that can translate through piping, that you can get from the flow frequency in the pipe from the gas traveling through it, or what they call pulse frequency, that's going to be inherent to a reciprocating compressor. Also, just the general rotational vibration that you're going to get, that vibration can translate through the piping. And by using a stainless steel flex line, we can minimize that. So the two number one ways are to have an adequate foundation for the compressor to be mounted on, and then to use flex lines in between the compressor and the piping or any vessels to minimize vibration transmission through the piping system. Generally speaking, most of these compressors are going to be very smooth. The double actors are a little smoother, and horizontals are a bit smoother than the verticals. But for the most part, there's not a tremendous amount of vibration transmitted by these. When you do see a fair amount of vibration on the compressor, generally speaking, that's going to tell you that you've got some sort of an internal issue, whether you've got an issue with your valves, you've got an out of balance crank or flywheel, or even potentially an undersized flywheel. If you've got a large load at low rotation, that can translate into some vibration. You also could have, if the compressor was recently rebuilt and care wasn't taken to balance the deck height on the two pistons, you could have a little bit more efficiency in one cylinder than the other, which will translate into some vibration as well. For more information on vibration, we can provide some literature and some details on how that can be done, and understand that S&S Technical is very good at designing and engineering, manufacturing balanced systems, minimal vibration, and we've made it an art, quite frankly, with putting together skids that can absorb that vibration and ensure that when you put it into your system, you don't have to have those types of concerns. If you have any questions, you know how to reach us. You can go to the website at www.skidsolutions.com, or you can contact us at 678-867-7024. Thanks.